This is the Red Beard Podcast.
Hold on to your butt.
Do we really suck? Or is this guy really that good?
I have one speed, I have one gear. Go!
Hey everybody, what's up? This is Cooley, and I am chilling here at the Red Beard Podcast, kicking shit off with my man
Tony. What's going on, everybody?
That's right, and we got a special guest today. His name is
Elijah.
That's right, son. Yeah, that's my man, Elijah. You met him before on Hanging with Cooley. This time he's going to have a little bit more of a prominent role in the podcast. He's going to chill out with us for the day. He's seen pretty much everything. He's just like me. Big geek, big nerd. He's shaking his head no, but that's because he hasn't realized that those are actually cool words.
Yeah, they are. If you're a nerd, this means you're good. That's good stuff, man. So,
So what's up today, Tone?
nothing much, man. A lot of stuff going on. So, I was actually pretty excited to talk about one thing in general, and I think everybody that has any kind of an involvement in TV, especially AMC, knows about the Walking Dead finale and what happened. And that just kind of blew my mind in a lot of ways.
Yeah, let's talk about how pissed off you were, man.
I was heated.
I got because we started the show pretty much in sync, except you were maybe 2 minutes ahead of me.
Okay.
Right? So you just we're in the middle of watching that phenomenal monologue by
Jeffrey Dean Morgan.
Jeffrey Dean Morgan. Yeah, he blew me away, man. That was awesome.
He was awesome.
Chilling and still funny.
Right.
But we're in the middle of that, and my phone starts blowing up. You're like, what the fuck?
Yeah.
Fuck AMC.
Yeah.
Fuck them. And I'm like, whoa. What did they do? I'm thinking they killed somebody that you liked, and it wasn't who we thought it was going to be. And I'm like, I didn't know what they did. And I was like, what the hell happened? So I waited before I responded to you. But let's talk about that, because I don't know what you were doing at your house, but it sounded like you were really flipping your shit.
No, I wasn't actually, to be honest with you. My text messages and the exclamation points that I included probably made you think that I was throwing stuff, but I was literally just sitting on the edge of my my couch, just typing that very calmly, because I was pissed off because Don and I had talked a lot about the way that we thought that AMC was going to end it, and we both agreed that it would have been a really bad move by AMC to actually have them hit whoever first of all, everybody had suspicions as to who it was going to be.
Right.
If you've watched the finale, no one really knows, but there are a lot of theories as to who it could be. That being that it could be Glenn. Some people say it could be Daryl or Abraham. Either way, we had talked about it, and we had both agreed that it would be a really kind of a cop-out by AMC to hit somebody on the head, and before we even know who it is, cut to black. And when they actually did that, I got really kind of pissed off because, one, if it is Glenn, we waited all winter break to actually see, he goes under the dumpster, and we got to wait to see that, right? To see that he comes out alive, right? Then he almost gets killed again by a bunch of walkers, and they fire AK-47s at him, and every bullet hits a walker except Glenn, and you're like, well, this guy's got 9 lives, so this finale where he gets caught in the middle of the woods by Dwight, I'm like, well, this is the bad move that he made, leaving the gates of Alexandria to get caught this final time, and then he's going to go down. And when the bat comes down on somebody and we don't see who it is, one, that pissed me off because I was like, okay. And then when it cut to black and that was the end of the finale, I really got angry because it's like, come on, man, you've made us. We know that this is coming. Everybody knows that Negan was going to come. AMC was teasing us with the fact that we were going to meet Negan. And that's what happens in the comic books. But now they're going to make us wait another 6 months to actually find out who was killed. I think that's just kind of a dumb move. Fans are going to come back regardless. If you're a Walking Dead fan, you're going to come back anyway.
Yeah, I know.
So I don't understand why they have to keep us on a hook to find out who got killed. Cool. Glenn died. Daryl died. Let us take 6 months to get over it, and then let's actually go into the next season.
Time to get over it, though. That's the thing. Like, if it was like, here's my. I'm
point. Not saying I need to get over it. I'm really don't care. But you know what I'm saying.
People will get over it. Is the thing. Like, you'll have 6 months to be like, oh, well, that we can kind of just breathe. And then when it starts back up, the tension of what was created through that awesome monologue, right, is now dissipated, and now we're just starting with this like, okay, well, let's see where it goes from here, right, on a really calm note. Like, we just get to roll right into season 7. What they want to do is they want to keep this so that at the end of season 6, you have this like knot in your stomach, right? Mm-hmm. And then at the beginning of season 7, that knot is still there, right? And then you finally see what happens, and then you roll into everything with this high tension, this like, and hopefully, based on what happens in the comics after Glenn gets his head bashed in, all it does is just steamroll from there, and it just becomes this massive like war, right? And the tension just stays from beginning to end. And I don't think that's a cop out. I think that's strategic, and I think that was very smart, because if you just get to defuse, right, and you're just like, okay, so it was Glenn. Month 1. Damn it, they killed Glenn. Month 2, I wish they didn't kill Glenn. Month 3, Glenn's dead. Month 4, I'm over it. I wonder who the next guy is going to be, right? Month 5, you forgot all about it. And month 6, you're like, what the fuck? And then here comes The Walking Dead again, right? Now, because they left it the way they did, now it's like, who the fuck did they kill? Who the fuck did they kill? Fuck them. This is stupid. This blah, 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 blah. Everybody's talking about it, and it's going to maintain this big bubble of energy.
But there's 2 reasons, though. There's the first reason, which is like, okay, if they did it for the writing aspect, I can understand that. And like, okay, that makes a little bit of sense. But also, every show now, like if you binge watch anything, the end of every single episode is some type of a cliffhanger to get you into the next episode or the next season. And I feel like the fact that they just went to black right there is kind of lame. It's lame. It's a typical cliffhanger of another show that we have to wait to come back to, and it's just like something before winter break. Like, I think shows are a little ridiculous thinking that like you go to winter break and you have to leave me on a cliffhanger because in 3 weeks I'm not going to come back. No, I've been watching the show.
I don't think it's about you coming back. I think it's the state of mind that you have.
Well, no, you're right, but I'm also saying there's 2 different points, right?
Right.
You have the good writing aspect, and if that's where they were going, totally, right? Totally get that. But if not, you have that other aspect, which is just like they're just trying to like keep everybody in suspense, and it's whatever. And I just think it's kind of a tough. It's a tough pill to swallow, as Negan said, when at the end of a season that you've been waiting so long for to see who's going to actually get it, you don't see. And I think that's just frustrating for a lot of fans. And as much as I want it, I can say that it is good writing and it probably will pick up in a good place. It's extremely frustrating to not know and not have kind of like that ending that you were looking forward to.
So Chris Hardwick, the host of the Talking Dead, right after The Walking Dead, has, heard the masses talking about how pissed off they are about this ending. And he had this to say. He said, "The cliffhanger was not poor writing. Here's what I would say. Just because you don't see the purpose doesn't mean it doesn't serve a purpose." The 44-year-old TV host said, "I think people need to stop projecting that onto it's not poor writing. It's exceptional storytelling, because you're going to be talking about this for 7 months. And if you had seen it or had seen who it was, how would that have changed things?" He admitted that if the season 6 finale was the series finale, he basically says if this was a series finale, then you might have a gripe. But you can't say that what has happened on this half of the season is poor writing. He says that's fucking asinine to say that. He says that for this show to have these kinds of storylines and this kind of character development and this kind of drama this far into a series, where they still have us saying that shit's epic, it's not poor writing. It's the fucking opposite of poor writing. And I will defend this show until I'm blue in the fucking face and my eyes are crying tears of blood. This is exceptional writing. And he continued. He said, "You don't have to like it, of course. Everyone is entitled to their opinion, but you cannot make a statement that that's some kind of attempt at an objective, universal statement that the show is. I mean, that's just crazy. It's your opinion. It's not poor writing. It makes sense, you know?
I mean, yeah, it does make sense. I mean, he's definitely entitled to his own opinion. I mean, I'm not, and like I said, I mean, he's everybody's going to have their own gripes with it or not gripes with the show. It's just something that you it's a decision that you have to, you know, that you have to come to it's a decision you have to decide for yourself. You know, if you've seen it and you know how you felt after you saw it, I would be interested to see how a lot of listeners actually feel about it. You know, like, do they actually think that it was a good ending? Did they like it? Do they think it's good writing, or were they pissed off? You know, it just seems very odd that there are a lot of people. There are more people pissed off than actually like satisfied with the finale. Yeah. And maybe that's going to be like a good payoff when it comes back. But for now, it's just kind of like it leaves everybody just kind of like, oh, well, that's stupid.
And then on the flip side, like, I feel like they totally gave us who they killed.
Yeah, so there's a lot of different things. I mean, Chris Hardwick, because I watched Talking Dead after, and you had Robert Kirkman on there, and you had Jeffrey Dean Morgan on there, you had Daryl on there, and you also had the writer for the show. I forget his name.
Scott Gimple.
Yeah, thank you. So they were all there, and they were all talking about it. And Jeffrey Dean Morgan even said, you know, there are clues that will tell you as to who it was, but they're also saying that like none of the cast members know who got killed. But it's almost like they gave us clues to who it was, but the cast doesn't even know yet, which is, I think, is kind of like an oxymoron. But if you look at a lot of things that have been posted, there's this one picture of Negan that I found before the finale had even aired, and it was a picture of Negan, and if you zoom in on his left eye, the reflection of his eye, it looks like it's actually Glenn.
Right.
So that's that. If that's an Easter egg, then that's it right there. You said there's some other things going on as far as how they break down the scene. You can tell who it is.
Yeah, there's some audio I'm going to try to find. We'll try and post that, where you can actually hear Glenn saying Maggie,
yeah.
Right? He kind of stutters it, and it's really like low, but it's also like underneath the ringing in the ears, because you're seeing this first person, like he's like whacking you in the head with the bat, but you can hear somebody say Maggie. Like, nobody else would say that in the middle of getting bashed in the head but Glenn, because everybody else has a significant other or something that they care more about than Maggie at that point. So like your dying words aren't going to be Maggie unless you're Glenn. Right. So that's one thing. And then there was another video that's posted on YouTube. I'll link to it on the site. Remind me to do that before you leave, because I will forget. I always do that. They break it down. It's a pretty cool breakdown. They basically look at the order of the people that he's counting. Mm-hmm. You know, and like how he, in his cadence and what he's doing, like how they show them the faces and stuff like that. So, I mean, I don't know how cool, how accurate, how, you know, perfect that theory is, but if what I saw, like when I was watching it and when I heard and read what they wrote, it actually made sense. Mm-hmm. So that, coupled with the words Maggie, coupled with what you saw in the picture in his eye or whatever, seeing Glenn's face, there's no way that it's not Glenn. In my opinion. Right. To me, it's a fact. Like if they start season 7 and it's not Glenn, I feel like it's just because people figured out that it's Glenn and they want to throw you for a loop, and that would be poor writing, in my opinion.
Yeah, like it's one of those things where I also, a theory of mine is that they actually are waiting for people to actually like have theories as to who it is, and then they're just going to do what they want to do based on that.
Right.
But, and if they
what do you
I
think,
mean,
Lash?
I mean, I really don't know because I haven't been catching up to the series, but I don't know, really.
Is it Glenn?
Yeah, probably Glenn.
Word.
Yeah.
High five.
I like he just coached him into saying it's Glenn. It's totally Glenn. Just say Glenn. You're a winner if it's Glenn. Yeah.
I had no option to go with, so I just picked Glenn.
Yeah,
well,
it's probably
it could have been Glenn too.
Yeah,
it could have been Glenn. It could have been Abraham, last name Glenn.
Other options are Glenn or Glenn. Daryl probably not, but if you think Daryl, then I'll give you that.
No, not Daryl.
Just Glenn. So, on another note, good news. Cooley and I have talked about this a bunch of times. Lucifer got picked up for season 2.
Yeah, take that, 100,000 moms or
1
whatever.
million
1 million moms.
Yeah. So your petition of 125,000 signatures didn't work. Boom.
What the hell is up with petitions, by the way? Can I just talk about petitions for a minute?
Well, it's actually a constitutional right, but they very, like a low percentage of the time actually work.
Everybody wants to do a petition. Like some people, people are actually petitioning
to stop
AMC.
petitions?
No, AMC.
They're petitioning to stop petitions.
No, they're petitioning AMC to reveal to us who Negan killed at the end of The Walking Dead.
Yeah, that makes no sense.
Right. And they're like, we want you to reshoot the ending and give us a 15-minute special before May. And like the funniest thing about it is that there's no or else. Like there's no ultimatum. There's no like, if you don't do this, we're going to stop watching. It's just, we want you to do this. Or else what? Or else nothing. Just please do this.
Come on. We're all in pain about this. We feel sad. Please do this.
No. And then you got 1,000 moms petitioning to, boycott, Tiffany's for sponsoring Lucifer and the devil.
Whatever. Honestly, it's such a good show. I don't really, these people are stupid. I don't understand. If you watch the show, 1 million moms, I know you're not listening, but if you do ever hear this podcast, the point of the show is that Lucifer is actually starting to turn and actually starting to care.
Yeah.
So if you watch the show, you would understand that it's not him just going around like screwing people and all this other stuff. Like he's actually trying to be a good guy or realizing he's becoming a good guy and trying to fight it, but he can't.
And if you're saying that he can't do that, let's talk about that for a minute, 1 million moms. If you're saying that Lucifer cannot change and be forgiven, how hypocritical are you? Like, how much of a hypocrite are you as a Christian?
Right.
Not even just a Catholic, because I'm a Catholic and I can do tons of bad shit. And I know I'm going to be forgiven because if I ask for forgiveness, that's what's going to happen, right? Like that's our belief. That's our belief system, right?
Right. Yeah.
Yeah. Like, and I'm not saying like, go and do bad shit and just be forgiven. I'm saying like, if I do bad shit, like not preemptively, but if I end up doing bad shit, I can ask for forgiveness and be forgiven.
Right.
Right. Lucifer, who is a bad person or fallen angel, if he asks for forgiveness, right, and actually starts becoming good and doing good things, then he could be forgiven, no?
Yeah.
So what's your problem, moms?
They just don't like the fact that he's actually a angel of death or an angel of evil, and that's being portrayed as a entertaining concept on TV.
Right.
They don't want to give the devil, who is somebody that should be that should be, the devil's in a dark place, but they're actually, I think they don't like the fact that they're making the devil something that's funny or acceptable, because it probably is like a really big thing for them. It's like a real thing for them. It's kind of like my grandmother. She's hardcore Catholic religious, goes to church every day.
Right.
She has never seen The Exorcist and will not watch it. Because she's like, and I said, you've never seen The Exorcist? She goes, why do I need to watch something like that? She goes, I don't need to see that. So it's like there are some people that like don't like the fact that something as serious as that is being shown on not AMC. What show it? What channel is that? Is it on? Is Lucifer on? I forgot.
It's on Fox.
Fox. Thank you. If I said AMC, I apologize.
I mean,
they don't want that on. No, I feel like I did at one point. They just don't want it on TV.
I mean, that's kind of the same thing as having like somebody who happened to be in World War II watch like Saving Private Ryan or something, right? Like
that's different. I mean, that's
watching like that's bullshit. That didn't happen.
But that's a historical movie based on D-Day. I mean, like that happened. Like
Well, yeah, no, but I mean, like it didn't go down like that. Like I mean, because like he really experienced it. You know what I mean? Like he was there.
Yeah. I heard a lot of people actually, just to kind of riff off that, play devil's advocate. He actually, people that are survivors of D-Day that are still alive have said that is probably one of the most accurate depictions of D-Day they've ever seen.
Nice word. I chose the wrong thing to compare it to. I'm sorry.
Just saying. But anyway, it's Spielberg, bro. He killed it. But yeah, I mean, I'm glad it got picked up. If you haven't seen the first season, watch it. It's great. I'm psyched for season 2. I think the main actor there is phenomenal. And I think it's definitely a show that Fox should be proud to have. It's a show that didn't get canceled. So by Fox, because it always gets canceled.
Nice.
Yeah. So
I'm super excited, though. That's great.
Yeah. Also, get excited about Rogue One because the trailer came out.
Yep, that trailer looked awesome.
Yeah, you are, as everybody knows, a bigger Star Wars fan than I am. So when you saw that trailer, like, what happened in your pants?
I'll be honest with you, and I had this conversation with Rob because Rob actually
Did he have a list of things that he shit on?
No, he loved it. He absolutely loved it.
Okay.
He was.
Did Rob like this? Did Rob like the Batman versus Superman trailer?
No.
Okay.
I hated the trailer for Batman Superman.
I was just funny because I was like, I wonder if Rob was like, I love the trailer, that he went to the movie and shit on it. You know what I mean? But hey, it's whatever. But what did Rob say?
No, Rob loved it. He absolutely adored it. I was on the fence.
Yeah.
When I first saw the trailer for Rogue One, I thought it looked good, and like that line when she says, it's a rebellion. I rebel. Like it was like that was a really cool line. Felicity Jones is awesome.
Yeah.
The cast looks like it's going to be amazing.
You got Forrest Whitaker in there. He's Academy Award winner. He's excellent.
And it looks great. There were a couple of scenes that I thought, maybe the effects didn't look so great. Like, when the guy's fighting the stormtroopers with the bow staff, that looked a little too quick, a little too easy for him to like take them out. I need to see that in the bigger picture. Maybe it was just the cut that they used. The scene with the AT-AT, the all-terrain walker, like with the blaster bolts coming out of its cannons, that looked a little weird to me. So I don't know. Like maybe it's just the way that it was cut in. Maybe the effects weren't finished yet because this movie's still far off and probably in post-production right now. But there were certain things that just kind of left me a little bit, weirded out. Like I didn't say nothing in that trailer made me say, oh, this is awful. But there were things in the trailer that made me say, that could use some work.
Now, I'm not a big Star Wars guy. I mean, I enjoy the movies, but Rogue One, is that based on a book? Or
No.
it's just like something that so because I remember they said Rogue One, and you seem to know already what it was. Like where's this coming from? Like
because they said that it was going to be the story of the X-wing fighter pilot squadron that stole the Death Star plans.
Okay, cool. All right. That's what I wanted to know.
So what it seems like to me is it's kind of like a Dirty Dozen.
Okay.
It looks like they're picking a bunch of maybe some ne'er-do-wells, right? Mm-hmm. Some folks that were maybe a little malicious at some point, and taking them and instead of putting them in prison, having them really do something good for the rebellion.
I gotcha.
And it also looks like at the end she's definitely wearing some Imperial gear.
Yeah, I saw that too.
I don't know if that means that she's going to turn traitor or if she's infiltrating them and being a spy. Who knows? Mm-hmm. Somehow, some way, the rebels end up getting the plan. So I don't know if that's her doing or somebody else in the squad and somebody dies. But I'm sure they all die because we don't get to see them ever again in the stories.
Right.
So episode 4, 5, and 6, these characters are non-existent.
Right.
Nobody even talks about them. So they were definitely swept under the rug after they died, or became part of the Imperial troop forces.
Yeah.
That's my guess. But yeah, there was no novel or book. There were a couple of books about that particular story, but it wasn't. This movie isn't based on those books. This is a completely new story, a new take on that adventure.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I'm looking forward to it. I mean, it definitely. It's just, anything Star Wars. Definitely gets me excited, but not to the point as a lot of other people do. They get really amped up about it. I saw the trailer and I was like, oh, this is going to be awesome. but I wasn't like because I feel like if you're familiar with Star Wars and you're like a super hardcore nerd about it, like there are things in the trailer, like Easter eggs they're going to throw out that like you're going to understand. I watched this trailer and there's a lot of stuff I just didn't get. I was like, okay, like I didn't know who Forrest Whitaker was, but I guess like nobody really knows who he is yet. That seems interesting. I want to know who he is because just this whole cadence and character and lines were very interesting and kind of like drew me in. So I'm interested to see if he's what kind of role he plays.
What did you think of the trailer?
I thought it was pretty interesting. What Tony said, I don't know who Forrest Whitaker is, but
Forrest Whitaker's the guy that was like, in the cape.
Yeah, the Yoda voice kind of. But it looks pretty interesting to me. I can't wait I really don't want to wait till next year in December, but it looks pretty interesting.
It's actually this year in December, so you're in luck.
What he said, I am in luck.
So do you, what is it about, like Forrest Whitaker that like you liked specifically? Like what was,
in like the old like movies, like the first episode when Anakin was like it brought back memories of like those episodes like of Yoda's voice, what Forrest Whitaker had.
Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah. So it kind of makes you think of like the older movies.
Yeah.
Yeah, Yoda's cool. I love Yoda. He's my favorite character.
So moving on from Rogue One.
Yeah.
Just wanted to say we saw Deadpool.
Oh, it was awesome.
We thought Deadpool was awesome.
Yeah.
Lai saw Deadpool recently. What'd you think?
Before we ask him that, Elijah, how old are you?
9.
All right. How did you get into the theater?
I tucked him under my jacket.
You tucked him under your jacket. just stay back.
I had a papoose and I just stuffed him in the papoose and buttoned up my coat. I look fat anyway, so it just it ended up looking okay.
Yeah. So what did you think of Deadpool? Did you like it?
I want to explain that right now, but take it over, Ant. No.
What did you think?
No, you got to tell us.
Was it good? Was it bad?
It was good, I guess.
Why was it good? Tell us why it was good.
Did you think it was funny?
Yeah.
What was one part that made you laugh? Like the one part
in the beginning when like all the cars were going by on the highway, he was like, "Somebody's not counting," and he goes 6.
Oh yeah. When he's killing all the guys at the beginning. Yeah,
that was great.
Yeah, he's so. Have you seen Ryan Reynolds in anything else?
His new movie Criminals coming out, which looks pretty good too.
Yeah.
What have I seen him in?
He's been in a lot of stuff.
Yeah,
probably stuff you haven't seen because it's either extremely graphic or it's really violent. Yeah.
What about Green Lantern? Did you see that?
Oh, Green Lantern.
Green
there you go.
What did you think of that?
Actually, I forgot what happened in the movie. Didn't he have a son?
That about sums it up.
Yeah. He had a son. No, he didn't.
He had a nephew.
A nephew, yeah. He went to his birthday party at the beginning, yeah. But no, he was like, he was like
I love it.
He was in the Air Force.
He's like, I don't really remember what happened in that movie.
I think a lot of people.
None of us do. None of us remember what happened in that movie.
A lot of people are trying to forget. What's her name? Was it? He met his future wife in that movie.
Yes, Blake Lively.
Blake Lively.
Yep.
Yeah.
He has a son now. No, a daughter.
A daughter. Yeah.
So did you see?
Batman versus Superman?
No. What was the other one that he was in?
Waiting.
No.
Waiting.
No. They're talking. Wolverine.
Oh
yeah, I did see that.
Wolverine. It's one of my favorite comic book characters.
Did you see that with him?
Yeah, I think so.
Do you remember what character he was?
No.
No, yeah. Good. Because it would ruin everything for you.
It wouldn't. It was good.
He was Deadpool in that movie.
Well, no, you're talking about.
He's like, wait a minute, Deadpool was in that movie? No, he wasn't really. But he was, but he wasn't. I'll have to show it to you.
Yeah,
so
it was bad. It was like a really bad version of Deadpool, which they make fun of in Deadpool. Do you remember in the new Deadpool that came out where he picks up a little figurine and it looks like a guy with blades on his arms?
Yeah.
That was actually the version of Deadpool that they made him in the Wolverine movie. That's what Deadpool looked like. Nothing like what he looked like in this one.
Really?
Yeah. That's how bad. That's how off it was. Right. So they made fun of it a lot. I will say this though. Wolverine Origins take Deadpool like out of the whole equation. I actually enjoyed that movie. I like seeing like the whole Wolverine like story, and I like seeing like him actually go through the entire process of how he got like the adamantium like skeleton. Mm-hmm. I just thought that was great. A lot of people hated that movie. But didn't you like to actually seeing that process, like what he had to go through?
The beginning was really good.
Yeah.
The ending sucked.
Ending being what? Like the ending of the whole fight and stuff like that with Deadpool?
Yeah.
Yeah, of course. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about like
I know if you take away the third act, which is the most important act of any film, yes, that movie was good.
But you get to see like what he had
But then it's not really a movie because you don't have a third act that actually gives you a climax. You just get kind of,
But you get to see in a sense like how he technically loses his memory. You know what I mean? Like stuff like that. Like those are people always wanted to know, like, well, how did he lose his memory? Like, and you actually get to see it and it's like, then you can put all the pieces together. You're like, oh, okay, well that makes sense. Like he's strong enough to actually heal, but he couldn't get it. He can't heal your memories.
Right.
So that was cool. But I know it's a little bit different in the comics.
because like the comics, like he just has, hold on a sec, Lige, the chair. You gotta stop it with the chair.
It's not my fault.
We're in a studio, buddy. We're in a studio.
You call your basement with a poker table.
Listen to this guy trying to be a wise ass. He takes after me. I'm telling you.
Right next to your washing machine.
Look, see?
Right next to your watch.
See? Love it.
He just called you out.
Chair.
All right. Anyway, so you're gonna say in the comic books what?
He has memory implants.
Yeah.
Like they're just like they manufacture like a past for him, and he has this, and it's this thing that they just implant in his mind, and he just goes on thinking that that's his life.
Yeah.
And so the whole thing about like what makes him such a tragic character in the comics is that his entire life is a lie once he finds out that they're memory implants, and then he just has no idea what his real life is, but he still thinks that this old life is real because it's really hard for him to like get his head around the fact that that's it's all lies.
Right.
And then somebody, I forget who it is, but somebody ends up helping him out and like removing the implants, and he gets his old life back. And everything starts flooding back, and then he remembers all these little things, like he's got a son, and he's got, it's really cool. It's a really cool story, and now that's something that you're not going to get because now it's just his memories were erased by a bullet.
Yeah.
An adamantium bullet that punctured his skull, and then he healed and whatever. I don't know.
Yeah.
It was just weird. It was weird, and I don't like people screwing with my chocolate and peanut butter. I like, like putting some extra flavor in there,
I will say this. You want to hear something really funny? When he actually, this is something a lot of people might not know, is that Hugh Jackman, when he was actually got hired the first time to do Wolverine, he went into this whole thing where he started studying like, wolves and all this stuff and animals, and like, that's why like, he looks down and his eyebrows kind of come up, like when a wolf looks at you and stuff like that. And he went in and he started talking to the director, and he's like, hey man, I got a lot of ideas, I've been studying out wolves, and like the guy's like, the director's like, we're talking about wolves. He's like playing Wolverine, man. So because a Wolverine's an actual animal. Email. He's an actual animal, and like he had no idea that was a real thing. So he went out and studied wolves instead of a Wolverine, and that's a Wolverine. That's what a Wolverine looks like. Yeah, but
like Hugh Jackman did that.
Hugh Jackman did that.
Aren't Wolverines Australian?
I don't know. I don't know where they're native. I
think Wolverines are from Australia.
They might be in like junk. Yeah, it might be Australia.
Let me see where they are.
Wombats are definitely Australian. I don't know if the Wolverine is. The Wolverine might not be. That might be something else.
I think it's like You probably
Costa Rican or something.
You might not agree with me on this, but I think it might be in like jungles.
Jungles, yes, I agree.
Jungles.
I do agree with you on that.
They live in the Arctic and subarctic in grasslands, alpine forests.
Well, Jesus Christ, where did you get that name from?
I just looked it up, and it's
where did Wolverine get his name from? He's Canadian.
Europe, Asia, and in North America. That's
Europe,
where you find Wolverines.
Europe, Asia, and North America. Okay, cool.
It's funny, though, because if you look at a Wolverine, though, like the face, you can actually see why, like, the comic book character actually has, like, those black over his eyes. That's a Wolverine. But if you look at a wolf, it's completely different, you know. But I think...
They look like little bears.
Yeah. They're not... like nice though.
No,
like they're pretty vicious. I heard,
which is why he is. That's why they named him that, because like he's super vicious, but he's like supposed to be little, but Hugh Jackman's like tall.
Yeah. And then there's but I will say that the wolf like study that he did, I think kind of really helped his character, because I think it works. You know, like the way he looks at people, like they look down and the eyes are up when he gets really mad, or like his he's always like smelling things. Like I don't know, I just think that works out.
Yeah, it worked.
Yeah,
he is Wolverine. I don't care how bad the movies are. He's Wolverine. I can't imagine anybody else.
I can't wait till the next X-Men movie coming out. It's gonna be awesome.
Yeah, that should be good.
Yeah. So,
Batman v Superman, buddy.
Really, I don't know.
Did you see? You didn't see it though, right?
No, I haven't.
So, what have you heard?
Like.
Was it good? Was it bad?
The trailer looks good.
Yeah.
I haven't seen the trailer in a little while, so I can't really say that much. But it looks good.
It looks good.
What I remember.
Did you do you have a desire to see it now after hearing what people are saying about it?
I really haven't heard what people are saying about it.
It's good.
So.
Then stop. Don't just keep doing exactly what you're doing, and then go see it. That's what I think. Because we went to see it, hearing some things about it, and we disagreed after we saw it. You, I think, are slowly turning to the dark side. I think you're slowly starting to fall into the abyss of.
I am. It started like I started off on this high because it was better than I expected it would be. And I'm slowly coming down off that high. I'm just like, I'm seeing it for what it is. And, man, it's just not, it's like, I just want people to get villains right. Like, because they don't respect the villain. You know, like, to me, the villain is like the centerpiece of the movie. Like, the hero is not the centerpiece. The hero has to overcome the villain. And if the villain is this just stupid, like, maniacal little punk, then it doesn't bother me. Like nothing Lex Luthor did bothered me. He pissed in a jar and he kidnapped Martha. Like, Superman should not have needed to do anything other than just go save Martha.
Yeah.
I'm sorry. Like, listen hard. Be like, oh, I know where Martha is.
Listen.
Go get her. Go get her at super speed, put her somewhere safe, and then go beat the crap out of the people that kidnapped her. Like, that's the end of the movie.
Yeah.
Luthor did nothing to me that inspired that fight, and it was everything in that story was forced in, shoehorned in to be a catalyst for the next scene. Like, they needed to do this to make this happen because they wanted to get there. They're looking at their destination and they're saying, let's do this to make sure that we get to this. And then this will lead us to this. And then that will ultimately lead us to this. And then, wait a minute, I don't know what the hell is going to lead us to that because this happened. And then let's just make something happen here. And that's when they had Lois go and get the spear.
That's the most abstract conversation to ever take place.
Right.
Right.
But that was the movie.
That's what yeah.
From A to B was just make this happen to make this happen.
Because that's going to happen.
Right.
But what about this though?
That You gotta make Lois do something.
If she ends up there,
You gotta make Lois do something so that she ends up there, so that Superman has to save her, so that he ends up there, so that this can happen and that fight can make.
that makes sense.
Yes.
And leads us to here right now.
Right.
Go.
Every time you say Lois, all I think about is Family Guy for some reason.
Right?
Yeah.
That's what I
Seriously.
thought about when I saw Lois in the movie, actually, is Family Guy. I was like, oh, wow, she's just like Lois from Family Guy.
Mommy.
Do it again.
Mommy, Lois.
Oh God.
Dude,
What?
Martha.
Martha. Her name. Why did you say Martha?
It's my safe word.
No. Who said you? Mother.
So
Where is she?
So I guess like my point is, as abstract as that was and as difficult as that is to follow, that's how the movie was for me. It was very difficult to follow because certain things didn't necessarily happen naturally. There was nothing really organic in that movie. Everything was shoehorned in. It was manufactured. Where in a good movie, like that you can actually say is a super good movie or a great movie, is something that everything just happens organically and just makes sense. Like, oh, this happened because that happened, not because we wanted that to happen. Right?
Right.
Does that make sense?
No, it makes sense. It
Yeah.
makes sense. Yeah, you should create all the. You shouldn't actually create an ending. You should have a beginning and an ending, but not just like throwing all the crap in between. It should be somewhat formulaic.
Right.
You know, they need to have a linear storyline. If you don't have a linear storyline, then the whole movie's going to fall apart.
Right.
And that's basically what happened. So, and throwing in all those weird Justice League things, which we've already talked about, was a bad move. I think it could have been after credit scenes, but it's just, I don't know, like looking back on that was the only thing that kind of like, that's what disjointed the movie for me, was that stuff.
I think that movie could have been a half hour, and if that movie was a half hour long, awesome movie.
It could have been a half hour.
It could have been. They could have distilled that down to a half hour.
No, I think it should have been at least an hour. At least an hour
All right.
you need for that. Not
Okay,
a half hour.
so 1 hour.
You can't.
Yeah.
It can't be an episode of Family Guy. It's just not enough time.
Let's
It
even
needs
go.
to be-
Let's even go with an hour and a half. Let's say you get Superman a half hour screen time, get Batman a half hour screen time, 15 minutes where they fight, 15 minutes where they kiss and make up, and then we're off into the Justice League movie.
Sounds good.
I'd be happy.
Yeah.
Yeah, 2 hours and 30 minutes was just too long. I think everything that they did, they had scenes that were just too long.
Let
Each
me ask
scene.
you this: if we had walked out of the theater on a sunny day, would we still have wanted to kill ourselves? Because we walked out and it was raining out, and it was like we stepped into Gotham City. Like, you know what I mean? I was like, great movie. It's raining. Oh, I'm just gonna bleed out
Right.
my tub.
Right.
Like,
I
after
would
this
say
movie.
if it was sunny, I may have ended up walking out of that theater and being like, "No, that movie was about a D." Like I would have given it less because the movie and the day kind of synced up. So I was like, "Oh, it was kind of cool. It was realistic." Right? It was like
If you
having
walked
another.
out to a sunny day, it would have been too much of a contrast.
This is kind of like 4D. I mean, everything is just kind of, I'm like in the
It's
movie.
like 4D,
You know?
man.
I'm like in the movie, but no, like if it was
You
sunny,
didn't realize that, like walking out of the theater, going to a D'Angelo's wasn't.
It was like the movie-
That wasn't two different worlds.
no, it
for
was
you?
like the movie didn't end yet.
Yeah, I don't know.
You know what I mean? Like we walked out of the movie and we were just like we just kept going. I was like, wow, that was actually like it was a seamless transition into real life. But if it was sunny and I had that, it would have like knocked me out of that state of mind, and I would have been like, wait a minute.
Yeah.
That wasn't that good.
All right.
It might have snapped me out of it a lot sooner. Like I wouldn't have had to like work
So
back into
from now on, when we go to the movies, if we're like going to see a Batman movie, I have to make sure that it's nice out.
Yeah.
We can't go on a rainy day, which is
Right.
technically when people go to the movies the most.
Right. So we have to make
Save
it
it for a rainy day.
or nighttime. Or
Not
nighttime.
go. Or nighttime.
Because nighttime, it doesn't matter if it's rainy or not. It's not like gloomy. It's just night.
I'm up.
I don't know. I disagree because if you walked out of Batman versus Superman, and it was nighttime, but also raining, the rain adds a layer of depression. Not only is it dark, but I am trying not to get wet. Now I'm depressed because I got wet.
I can see what you're saying.
Right? All right. Pound it. See?
We should
He knows what I'm talking
bring
I
smelling
put
salts
pause right here.
Yeah.
to the movies.
Smelling.
So that way when we leave, we just be like, oh, yeah, I'm
It
back.
did suck.
That movie sucked.
But anyway,
What else we got?
I don't know, man. I got all the topics out that I wanted to talk about.
Cool.
Yeah.
So,
next-
I have one thing, man.
What?
Dude, it's a short story
Okay.
that I got to tell.
Short story.
So been having transmission problems with the vehicle, like you know that, like
Yeah.
and so I have been taking the bus to work and taking an Uber home, right? First of all, I can tell you that public transportation has not improved in any way since I was a child. It's still smelly, and there are still crazy people on the bus.
Okay.
That hasn't changed. But I expected that, so whatever. Like Uber, for the 2 weeks that I had to use it, was awesome. Okay, like literally, like I have never had a service like that ever. Like you call an Uber, and within seconds,
It's like 2 minutes even. Yeah.
not even
Yeah.
like it's there, and they're like, "Hey, we're here." You get in the car, like you already know the guy's name. Guy knows your name. We're just like, "Hey, Charles, hey, Tony, how you doing? All right, cool, let's go." Right? So we get in the car. He knows exactly where you're going. You don't have to tell him anything. He just takes you home.
Yep.
You're home within minutes, right?
So you're saying it's awesome to lose your money?
Say it again.
So you say it's awesome losing your money, pretty much, for 2 weeks
So when did I lose my money?
by giving it, like, to the Uber.
So just to fill you in on a little something, because I know you don't realize this because you're young and you don't even like drive yet. But when you drive, you are spending money. Like driving that car is not magic. Like it's not free. You have to pay for gas. You have to pay for, maintenance on that vehicle. Like it's not a free thing. So while that car is being fixed, I was basically spending my gas money on an Uber because it's not that expensive to take an Uber. That's the other cool thing about it is it's like $5, $7.
Yeah, I will say
All
this
right.
too. My buddy who actually he's in the Army and he actually lives out in Kansas now. He like when he's not working on the weekends, he like he doesn't want to be bored. He actually applied for Uber and he like goes into Kansas City and he's like, oh, one night he's like I drove. It was around like St. Patrick's Day. He's like I drove maybe like 6 people around. I made like $80. He's like, and then like there was one other night where he's like I drove this like drunk like college girl home. He's like, and like she was talking to me about her majors theater and all this stuff, and I was talking to her. He's like, she gave me like a $20 tip. He's like, dude, he's like, it's making really easy money. He's like, and I haven't had anybody in my car that's like really weird.
Yeah, and I was thinking about doing it too. It sounds awesome, but I'll tell you this this experience, like it was great for 2 weeks, and then my last experience in an Uber was this. I get in the Uber. It's a woman driver. She's like cool and stuff, like any other Uber driver. You get in the car and she's talking, I'm talking, and she's like, all right, cool, blah, blah, blah. We get on the highway.
Yeah.
As soon as we get on the highway, she hits the curb. She says it was a pothole. I don't think it was a pothole. I didn't see a pothole. I didn't but we hit a curb, in my opinion. And I felt it. It was like rough. Like I heard boom, 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 right?
Yeah.
That's what it sounded
Fell
like.
down the stairs.
Like that's what it sounded like, somebody falling down the stairs, right? So she just keeps going, like she ignored it. She didn't go, oh man. She just like kept driving. And I'm like, so I'm just sitting there and I'm like, for like 2 minutes, and I'm just like, hey, I hope your alignment's okay. And she goes, oh yeah. And then like all of a sudden, like the car like wobbled, and she goes, oh. So she pulls over. And I get out the car and I look, and she's got a flat tire on the front right, on the front passenger side. So I'm like, okay,
I should probably call an Uber.
I'm gonna. I helped her. I helped her out. I was gonna change the flat for her. Right. I opened the trunk and
There's a body in there.
No, that would have been a better story. But hear me out. So I open the trunk, get the tire out, get ready to put it on. There's no friggin' jack. So I put the tire back in the trunk. As I'm putting the tire back in the trunk, I noticed that the rear tire is flat. So she's got 2 flats. So she had to call a tow truck. Can't call another Uber because there's no address. Otherwise, I'm just kind of floating around on the highway. She said, you know, that's not something that we can go to. Like, we have to go to an address. So I'm like, okay. So she calls a tow truck. We get AAA. Tow truck comes, picks up her car. We both get in the tow truck. We get on the highway. She was going to drop me off at home through the tow truck, but the tow truck guy was like, oh, I'm going to have to charge you for that. And she's like, oh, no. And she looked at me. She goes, oh, we're just going to go to my house, and the tow truck is going to drop us off there, and I'll call you another Uber. And I was like, I'm not paying for another Uber. And she said, no, I'll pay for it. Don't worry. So I'm like, okay, fine. So long story short, we get in the truck. This guy's driving all over creation. Like, he's not going straight to her house. He's just taking her for a freaking ride. He goes past her exit, and she's like, that was my exit. He's like, oh, my bad. I'll just have to take the next one. I know how to loop around. So then he loops around, and he gets on the road towards her house, and she goes, all right, my house is like 2 streets up. And he goes, oh yeah, that's all right. I'll just take a right over here, and then we'll go around the back end. And she's like, why do we have to go around the back end? Oh, because we have a flatbed, and I'm going to have to, like, you know, if the other way I wouldn't be able to back in and get your car. She's like, I don't understand. And he's just like, all right, cool, whatever. So he just does what he wanted to do. Gets us to her house. I'm sitting there. She calls just as we're pulling up for another Uber. Up comes another Uber, and it's another woman driver in a Jetta. I get in there, and in her car, she's just like, my GPS is broken. And I'm like, are you serious? And she's like, yeah. So I'm telling her.
Where was this girl's house? How far away was it?
No, it was Picasset. It wasn't very far.
Okay.
It was maybe like 5 minutes from my house. So
okay.
The other chick pulls up. She says her GPS is broken. So I'm like, don't worry, I can tell you how to get there. And she's like, she goes, oh, that's cool, because the last person I gave a ride home to, he didn't know how to get to his house. And I'm like, that's stupid.
He didn't know how to get home. It's like the dumbest
shit I ever heard. How does he not know how to get to his house? I don't know. I asked him, and like, you know, he just gave me so I had to take, I had to use a different GPS. And I'm like, well, why don't you use that GPS that you used? Why did you use a different GPS to get to his house? How come I got to give you directions? You know what I mean? That's not the Uber experience.
Yeah.
So I ended up getting home, but I left work at 9.
You got home at 10:30.
I got home at 11. You know where I work.
Yeah.
And you know where my home is.
Yeah.
It takes 7 minutes. I ended up taking 2 hours.
So, weird thing though, that I don't think is going to happen again. I think that's like nobody else I know has had an Uber experience like that.
Nobody ever will.
So I think that you're good, because I used Uber in Boston with Becca, and it was fine.
Oh, Uber's always great for me. That was the one time that ever happened, and it was, to me, it's just the funniest story because only me.
Yeah.
Only me.
Did you know the guy who, there was a guy online and looking through classified ads, I think at one point, he was like broke, out of work. He found an ad to like drive a car. It's going to be like a taxi service, pick people up and stuff like that. He was one of the first guys to drive for Uber. And now he's the assistant CEO, and he's a multimillionaire.
Dope. I just had to get that story out, man.
Seriously.
I just had to get that story out.
But that's all I got. I think that's a funny story, man. Thanks for sharing that. That's
Thank
cool.
you. Thank you.
Yeah, glad you get home safe.
Thanks.
Yeah. Hey, next Saturday, I'm getting married, so
there's that.
There's that. That's big. Yeah, man. So that'll be fun. I can't wait. It's gonna be awesome. So other than that, I'm good, man. That's all I got this week on the Redbeard. Elijah, I want to thank you for joining us, man.
Did you have anything else you wanted to say?
No, not
Are
really,
you getting married next week too? You would know, trust me.
He just said, I don't know. So it's possible. Know. I mean, I don't know.
We'll see what happens.
Be like 30 minutes. I'll be there for the cake. 20 double A's. Be there.
Be there. Be there.
All right. So that's it, guys.
That's it.
That's it.
Yeah. We'll see you guys next week on Redbeard. And I don't know when we're going to record that, because I'll be super busy. We'll get it out. We'll probably do it early in the week.
That's what she said.
Oh, all right. She did. All right. We'll catch you guys next week. Later.
Peace.
Later.
Later.
Bye.